Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. It's Friday, and it's the big day after last night, which we'll get into. So our house guest of the day is Diane Honor. Diane, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day like Diane, check out our Patreon link in the description below, where you will also find a link for Paramount Plus if you are interested in getting live feeds. And if you use our link, it really helps us out. We get a little kickback, so we appreciate that as well. Okay, so last night, Mackenzie, Angela, and Tucker were up on the block. And Tucker really beefed it in that AI arena, the Ainsley arena. And we saw Mackenzie won the AI competition. So we had Tucker versus Angela up on the block. Tucker was evicted by a vote of 5-3. This flip was already in the works just in case Tucker was still up on the block, and wow, it happened. So the 3 votes for Tucker to stay were Kimo, Rubina, and Joseph. They were all enjoying some blindside butter beans last night. Yeah, they did not know that this was going down. They were on the wrong side of the vote. I'd have to give Chelsea the credit for this move, right? I mean, he went out on T-Core's HOH, but like, she didn't want that. she wanted Tucker to stay. So if anything, it was like a big mistake on T-Core's part, right? That Tucker ended up going. I think Chelsea was really responsible for having the guts basically to go to people and ask if they'd be willing to vote Tucker out, getting all those votes lined up and making it happen. So kudos to her because that was a big move. I have to say, excuse me, I'm going to miss Tucker because he was very, very entertaining. Was he amazing at the game? No. He did a lot of stuff that was not great game-wise, but it was so entertaining, right? So he really added a lot to the season, and I feel like he really broke the mold as far as gameplay goes. Like, he was willing to take risks, and as a viewer, I really respect that. So gonna miss him, but at least he got his 20K for being the AI instigator, so I'm pretty sure he was happy about that. Hello, hello. So let's talk about what happened after the eviction. We don't know. The feeds came back briefly just before 8 p.m. Big Brother time. They didn't stay on for very long. It was just a little check-in before the HOH competition. So we did not get to see the immediate aftermath following the vote flip. So who knows if there were discussions like, hey, what the F happened? Why'd you vote Tucker out without telling me? That kind of thing. We didn't get to see it. So hopefully we will see it on Sunday night's episode. However, during that short little feeds clip, we did see T-Core and Rubina chatting, and Rubina is now a Big Brother widow. She has lost her showmance. She's in there without him, but she will go on. So Rubina is like, you know what, Tucker, he's gonna be fine. I'm sure he's gonna be so fine. He's going home to his dog, and he's already said, like, he's just waiting for Rubina, right? He wants to continue this after the show. But oh my God, Rubina is still like, do you think he's gonna wait for me? Blah, blah, blah. It's gonna be so long. Like, it felt like a breakup. Those are some of the things that she was saying today. That wasn't even during this other conversation. But during this other conversation yesterday, T-Core is telling Rubina, now you get both things. You know, you got your man, and now you can play your game. You don't have to have your game tied to his. You can do your own thing now. I don't know. I still hear her talking an awful lot about Tucker. Did the lighting just get more dramatic? I think the ring light kind of like flopped, but it's fine. So Rubina is saying she's scared of what it's going to be like after this show with Tucker. She's not going to see him for so long. I mean, you never know. You might see him next week because I think we've got one more eviction left before the jury starts. And I think there is a good chance that Rubina will be the one leaving. We'll get into it. So Mackenzie joins them. She's complaining that Angela won't shut up. Yikes. And Rubina got a good laugh from that. So it was really helping her feel better. So Rubina congratulates Mackenzie on her AI arena win. She's like, I don't want you to think that I'm not happy for you. because I am, right? Obviously, she's upset that Tucker's gone, but she is very happy for Mackenzie that she got that big win and she's still there. And Mackenzie's like, I know, it's okay. Like, I wanted to give you your space. So then Mackenzie's, it was a late night last night. I'm sorry for all the yawns, but Mackenzie says, I'm not trying to like be the new comp beast, right? I'm not trying to take that title away from Tucker. But I was fighting for my life in there, right? I'm just trying to survive in these competitions. I mean, yeah, most of her wins have come from the AI arena, right? She's got 2 wins there. She's got the win at the beginning, the first episode, the Ainsley competition. So she's got a few wins under her belt now, but she still doesn't have the HOH yet. So she says, I want you to know I really did have Tucker's back, but when we were in the AI arena, I guess it was before the competition started, she saw Tucker go over to Angela and he said that he was going to vote to keep Angela over Mackenzie. I mean, we knew he was going to do that, right? So Mackenzie was like, that kind of sealed the deal for me that he's not really with me. He was going to vote me out if I was up against Angela. So, yeah, she says, even though I love him to death, I had to do it. And I feel like Rubina gets that. She seems to understand why people voted Tucker out. She's just bummed that he's not there anymore, which, that's legit. So, meanwhile, Joseph and Quinn are chatting in the bathroom, and Joseph is admitting, I was working very closely with Tucker. I think he went around and basically told everyone he had a final 2 deal with Tucker, which is interesting that he would go around and do that. He could have just like let it die now that Tucker is out of the house. I mean, he's not going to have to worry about Tucker spilling the beans on that. So yeah, it's a choice. But Joseph is telling Quinn, Tucker, he was not that good at the game. So I feel like now I can play with a little more freedom. I don't have to spend all this extra time and energy thinking about how Tucker's like crazy antics are going to affect my game, right? And how he's going to keep hiding that they're working together. So he's all this new energy freed up that he can direct towards Leah, I guess. But Joseph says, in the end, I think this is probably going to be a good thing for me, to separate myself from Tucker and not have to deal with all that. So Quinn says, no doubt. That is the name of their final 2 alliance together, Quinn and Joseph, no doubt. I guess they're big Gwen Stefani fans. But yeah, Quinn, he got his boy Joseph back, right? This is what Quinn was hoping would happen if Tucker left. He was like, I'm going to get rid of Tucker, and then Joseph's going to be all mine again. Well, it looks like that is kind of happening here. So the feeds go down for 3 hours for the HOH competition after that short little blip. And I believe it was the chicken wire comp where you have to transfer the eggs from one side to the other. I've always wanted to try this one. This has always been one of my favorite classic competitions because I have free cans, and I think I would do really well in it. So yeah, they got to do this competition, and Quinn won. HOH, he won. That is a big win to win that post flip, right? And the reality here, though, is he's going to have to kind of show his cards again now. He already showed his cards by voting out Tucker, but now he's going to have to name 3 nominees because we are still doing the Ainsley twist, the AI Arena twist. So 3 nominees still. I think this is going to be the last week probably that they're doing this, but damn. So by the time the feeds came back from the HOH comp, Quinn was already starting to have his one-on-ones. So Quinn and T-Core are chatting, and Quinn wants to know who was in on Tucker's plan to blindside him with this vote if it was Mackenzie versus Angela on the block. Because remember, going into the eviction night, Tucker wanted his allies to say that they would vote out Angela if it was Angela versus Mackenzie. But then at the last minute, they would actually vote out Mackenzie because he wanted Quinn, Chelsea, Cam, whoever, to be on the wrong side of the vote. So that got back to Quinn, and he's not happy about it because he knows that people that he's aligned with were probably in on that plan, and they did not tell him about it ahead of time. So T-Core's like, I don't think that Kimo and Rubina knew about it. Lies. They definitely did. But she tells Quinn, you should ask Joseph about it. I mean, Joseph also knew about the plan, but in reality, Joseph was pushing back hard against Tucker's plan. He did not want to lie to Quinn for this exact reason. I remember him telling Tucker, like, I don't want to lie to him. What if he wins HOH? Then I'm going to be in a really bad spot with him. And that's what happened, right? Quinn won HOH. So, yeah. Tikor is asking Quinn, how do you feel about Kimo and Rubina? And Quinn says, honestly, I'd put Rubina up on the block because I've already burned that bridge with her twice, right? He put Rubina up when he was the deepfake HOH. He just voted Tucker out. Tucker is Rubina's showmance. So he's feeling not great about Rubina at this point. Tikor gives her suggestions for potential nominees. She's throwing out Mackenzie, Leah. The irony right now of Tikor saying that Leah should go up on the block, because how badly did Tucker want Leah up there last week? And Tikor was like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't want to put her up. And now she's like, yeah, you should put up Leah. Also, Quinn is still in love with Leah. There's no way he's putting her up. No freaking way. So Quinn's like, well, I just built bridges with Mackenzie, Cam, and Chelsea, right? They all voted together to pull off this flip. So he does not want to put up any of them. So Tikor's like, okay. And he also lets Tikor know she's going to be safe this week. And that was pretty much the end of the conversation. She did not get along with Quinn at all. And she was not happy about it. She was not happy with how short this conversation was. She feels like she was slighted. I mean, most people were getting short conversations except for like Leah, who got extra time. So Cam chatted with Quinn next, and Quinn shares that he wants to put up Angela and Rubina, and he clarifies Angela is just a placeholder, right? He's wanted Angela out for a while, but not on his HOH. He does not want her to go this week. He feels like it would be a waste of his HOH. And this is exactly what he was worried about before. Like, he was like, if nobody takes out Angela now, people are not going to want to use their HOH just to do that. And that's exactly what's happening here. But yeah, he says she's just a placeholder. And it's just funny because we've seen how well that's been working out when you put up people that you don't really want to go. Seems like that person usually ends up going. But anyway, Quinn is not sure who the third nominee should be next to Angela and Rubina. So Cam suggests Kimo. Ooh. I mean, Quinn used to be working very closely with Kimo and Tikor in their Visionaries alliance, but like that's kind of in the toilet right now. First, Tikor and Kimo decided we're going to vote out Cedric and not tell Quinn. And now Quinn was like, I'm going to vote out Tucker and not tell them. So it's not looking great for the Visionaries. Sorry, any fans of the Visionaries Alliance. But Cam says, I think that Kimo would have put you on the block if he won HOH. I don't know about that. I don't think that's really true, but Cam's going with it. So they talk about who they trust at this point. Of course, they say they trust each other. They trust Chelsea, Tikor, and Mackenzie. They trust her now because she was in on this plan. She followed through. But like, why Tikor though? Why do you guys feel like you trust Tikor? Because you just flipped on her after she flipped on you. That would not make me trust someone. I would not feel good about that relationship after, double flips. So this season's really weird in that way. People think that they can just flip on their allies and then like the person's going to want to keep working with them and everything's going to be fine. Doesn't make sense. But Cam is encouraging Quinn, pick me to play for the veto if you have that option to choose. I will do what you want with the veto if I win. Okay. Meanwhile, Tikor is chatting with Kimo in the bathroom. And before I forget, Kimo and Mackenzie are the have-nots this week. It was they were selected somehow with, it had to do with the HOH competition and the results from that. So I don't know if it was like something about how many eggs you dropped or when you dropped eggs. I don't know, but they're the have-nots for the week. Okay. So Tikor and Kimo are realizing at this point Quinn is capable of anything. They thought that they could just flip on him a few weeks ago and everything was going to be fine and he wasn't going to feel like he wanted to retaliate. Nah. Also, they are talking about how they convinced Tucker to use the veto on Quinn, but then Quinn ended up voting Tucker out anyway. So they're not feeling great about Quinn at this point, nor should they. T-Core says her chat with Quinn was okay. Like, it wasn't good. He did tell her that she's going to be safe, but she's really concerned about what's going to happen with Kimo and Rubina this week. So Kimo's hoping that neither of them will go up on the block. Ooh, about that. T-Core is wondering, is this Visionaries alliance even still a thing? Was it still a thing when you flipped the vote to take out Cedric and didn't include Quinn in that? Because this is pretty much the same thing. Yeah. But T-Core says she's very confused by Quinn at this point and she is not happy with him. So we'll come back to that. But back to Quinn's one-on-ones. He's talking to Chelsea now and he confirms again, yes, he wants to put up Rubina and Angela. And then they agreed that they want to keep working together moving forward. This was not just a one-time thing that they were doing to take out Tucker. So Quinn is trying to build an alliance here. And he's like, I want to get something going with you, Chelsea, Cam, and T-Core. So that would be like a core group. And then they want to add in more people around that. But like, what is with this season and wanting to work with people that you just flipped on? Also, there's no way that you work with T-Core without Kimo also knowing about it. She is not going to do anything without him as long as he's in this house. So the thought that he even thinks he can work with T-Core and not Kimo is just astonishing. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know if this is some sort of like a power trip, HOH-itis. I don't know, but like, are you serious right now? So Quinn is also saying he likes Joseph. They want to work with Mackenzie. So they're adding on quite a few people to this potential alliance. All right. So then Joseph is chatting with Leah. And this was kind of weird because Joseph was saying that they should try and keep Kimo, Rubina, and T-Core all safe this week. Who would the target be? You're running out of people. I guess Angela? That's kind of lame, right? But he says those three, that trio is a target for everyone. And he wants to use that trio as a shield for his own little trio. Joseph, Quinn, and Leah. I don't think you should be protecting that trio. I don't think that shield is worth it, right? Because that shield can win competitions and come after you. So I don't think that's a smart idea. Also, Joseph was not really pushing this line of thinking when he was talking to Quinn. So I don't know what this was all about, but whatever. So a little later, T-Core, Rubina, and Kimo are chatting, and T-Core says, man, it would really tick me off if Quinn put any of us up. I mean, it's like a slow burn. She's getting upset about this situation. But Rubina's like, no, I think we'll be okay this week. Like, I think you'll be fine, T-Core. Maybe I'll go up because I'm closely associated with Tucker. And T-Core is telling Kimo, I really think you need to talk to Quinn, right? You need to remind him what you've done in this game to keep him safe. You need to make sure he knows that you're loyal to him. Because one of Quinn's big concerns, he really felt like Kimo and T-Core and Rubina, of course, would pick Tucker over him, which we know is true. I mean, they had this whole other alliance with Tucker that they did not involve Quinn in. So that's not great, right? I get why Quinn would want to go against them at this point, but T-Core's like, you need to talk to him and make sure he knows that you want to work with him. So T-Core says if he puts you up on the block, mostly meaning Kimo, because she knows that Rubina is going to go up, but if he puts both of them up, she says Quinn will be tainting a much more solid relationship than the one he thinks he has with Joseph and Leah. So she's really pissed that Quinn seems to be prioritizing his relationships with Joseph and Leah. Which again is funny because T-Core wanted to keep Leah safe last week instead put up someone from her own alliance. Like, what? So anyway, Rubina's like, you guys have had Quinn's back. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to put you up. And T-Cor's like, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know if he's aware of that. And she says, that is really going to tick me off. So Rubina says, I'm probably going to go up over either of you guys. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. She's more upset that Tucker's gone, right? She doesn't realize the danger that they are all in right now. And T-Core says, it could be Rubina and me or Kimo. So T-Core says, I really should have been more aggressive when I was talking to Quinn because she wants Quinn to know what Leah has been saying about him. I mean, her and Kimo talked weeks ago about how they were going to spill to Quinn what Leah's been saying, like all the negative stuff and how she would put him up, all, which we've seen is true. Leah has said all those things. And somebody did tell Quinn about that. I think it was Brooklyn. And Quinn did confront Leah about it. And she was just like, I can't believe anyone would say that about me. Why are they trying to pit us against each other? So, like, he's heard it and he's not believing it. He thinks that he's good with Leah and she wants to work with him. Yikes. But yeah, T-Core waited so long to tell him about it. So she really wants to talk to Quinn again. She feels like her conversation with him was not long enough. And she says, if Quinn puts even one of us up, one of us three, and I win HOH again, he's going to be my number one target. She's also been saying that he will lose her jury vote if he makes it to the end. And she's going to tell all the other juries or the other jurors about it, rural jurors. And, they're realizing now that Tucker was right about Quinn. They should not have trusted him. Okay. So after Kimo and Rubina are crying together, they are mourning the loss of the love of their lives, Tucker. And Rubina is like, I hope there's a battle back and he comes back. And then she's like, is he gone because of me? So like she's going through all the emotions right now. Girl, I really hope you're going to pull it together because you're in danger this week. You need to be focusing on this game. But they acknowledge they can't really blame people for voting Tucker out because it made sense on a game level, right? He was so good in competitions. He was erratic. So it made sense to vote him out. They can't blame people for doing that. But Kimo's like, I just hope Tucker doesn't think that I was one of the people that voted him out. I mean, he's going home. Like, he's going to know who voted. Julie even told him who voted for him. So you don't have to worry about that, Kimo. But Rubina says the ratings are going to go down now that Tucker's gone. We'll see. I do think it's a huge loss for the show, but like, I think there's still some exciting stuff going on, right? Like, let's not cancel the season just because Tucker was evicted. So later, Chelsea and T-Core check in with each other in the storage room. And based on their conversations with Quinn, they both feel like they should be okay this week, right? But they do feel that Kimo and Rubina are in some danger here. So T-Core says she feels really bad for them that they're in this position, not only because of the nomination situation, but also because they just lost Tucker, right? She doesn't care as much that Tucker is gone. She seems fine about it. But she knows that Kimo and Rubina are really hurting with this loss. On the bright side, Chelsea lets T-Core know that Quinn wants to get an alliance going with the two of them and Cam. I don't know if she was supposed to be sharing this at this point. She might have jumped the gun a little bit because, like, I feel like it's a little bit too early to be spilling that. It might not even happen. It might not come to fruition. But it's interesting. Will T-Core go and tell Kimo and Rubina about this potential alliance? Maybe she'll like wait. I know she's really nervous that if she opens her mouth, she's going to be the replacement nominee. So she might wait a little bit, but of course she's going to tell them at some point. So Quinn continues his one-on-ones. He has a very quick chat with Angela. It did not last long at all. And Angela is basically like, I'm all alone. I don't want to go up on the block. She does bring up how she and Quinn agreed that if either of them were to win HOH, they would not put each other up on the block. But she's like, I'm not going to hold you to that. Yeah, he's going to put you up. Quinn says he doesn't know what he's going to do yet, but like, he knows he's putting her up. And then after that, Quinn talks to Leah. And I believe she got like the longest one-on-one chat by far. And he just turns to a pile of hair when he's talking to Leah. Still, he's like majorly crushing on her. I mean, there were points where he's like listening to everything she was saying, like all up in her face. It was a lot. So Quinn does bring up to Leah that people have been telling him to be wary of her, and he said, I've heard that you've been, dragging my name, maybe like saying you're coming after me, which again, we know that's all true. She has been doing that. Even last week she was doing that. She was trying to get T-Core to put Quinn up on the block. And Leah is denying all of this to Quinn's face, of course. And she's like, it hurts my feelings that people would say that about me. Like, that's so messed up. It's true, but it's messed up. But she says, if I won HOH, I would not target you or put you up on the block. Liar! Okay. So, yeah, I think he also talked to her about getting an alliance together. It's the same thing we heard earlier. And he was like, I feel good about working with you and Joseph, but you need to promise me that you will be closer to me than you will be to Joseph. Okay. So anyway, little competition there. So then Quinn finally got his HOH room around 2 a.m. Big brother time. He got a letter from his mom and dad. They're so proud of him. He got some updates from home. Honestly, some of the updates were a little mundane, but it was like really cute in a way. And I'm sure it was nice to hear about home. So that was a nice letter. Talking about, how they were trying to walk the family cat on a leash to go visit grandma for her birthday. That's nice. So he got pictures of his family, including the family dogs. Love that. Yeah, and then everyone stayed up in the HOH room for a while after the reveal. You can tell they're nervous. They don't know exactly how this week is going to go. So you had to put in more time in the HOH room, right? Eventually, Joseph is like, can I have a one-on-one before the night's over? So he does get one. Leah hangs back for a minute as well. So Quinn, Leah, and Joseph, they have a little celebratory dance, just the three of them. It's a new trio, right? And Quinn is congratulating them on making it to day 52. Now, yesterday was only day 45, but he's basically telling them, you're safe for this week. I'm not putting you guys in danger. You don't have to worry. So they're all excited about that. So then Joseph and Quinn do have their chat alone, and they are like fully on board, so they say, with each other again now that Tucker is gone, right? They don't have Tucker in the middle of them. So they have their final two called No Doubt. And Joseph again is sharing about his final two that he had with Tucker. He's talking about the 6th Avenue Alliance. But Joseph and Quinn promise that they will never put each other up on the block and they will never vote each other out. We'll see. Okay, so Quinn again is talking about how he's saying he wants to form an alliance with Joseph, Leah, Chelsea, Cam, Mackenzie, and he wants to work with T-Core. He's just nervous, like, will she be into it? Is she going to spill to Rubina and Kimo? Probably. But if you look at this, he wants to make an alliance of 7 when there are 10 people left. The only people not involved in this alliance would be the 3 that he's putting up on the block. This is dumb. Insane. Why? Why are we doing this? And it's just a waste because, like, what if one of the nominees wins the veto? So now all of a sudden you have to put one of your allies up on the block. We've seen how that's been going. Yeah, it's just crazy to me. He's trying to get together a final 7 alliance with 10 people left. What are we doing here? What is this? So yeah, Quinn is saying he would be okay with either Rubina or Angela leaving this week. It seems like Rubina is the number 1 target, though. He does not feel bad about putting Kimo up on the block because he says it's clear now that Kimo would have picked Tucker over him if he had to choose. Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty clear, right? We have seen Kimo spill so many things to Tucker over the last few weeks. He went with Tucker on the vote flip to get rid of Cedric. He didn't tell Quinn about that. So, I mean, he was in the 6th Avenue Alliance with Tucker and not with Quinn. So, like, yeah, I think he'd pick Tucker. So anyway, the rest of last night, some of these house guests were up super, super late. They were still up when I woke up this morning. So Quinn did end up having his one-on-ones with everybody else. Mackenzie, he was like, "You're safe, whatever. I want to work with this group." And it was, again, the 7 out of 10. He talked to Rubina and Kimo, and he basically let both of them know that there is a possibility that they could be going up on the block. But he was telling them, if you do go up, you're going to be safe. No. So, yeah, he was basically saying Angela's the target this week, which she's not his target. But he was like, I'm going to make it really obvious in my speech, yada, yada, yada. But we know, again, that she is not his primary target. In other news, Leah and Joseph solidified a final 2 deal last night, and I believe they called it Childum. Childum? Childum? I don't know. Stupid. Okay, anyway, today, the plan is still on for Quinn to put Kimo, Rubina, and Angela up on the block. Kimo tried to talk to Quinn again, and I believe Kimo was like, I just want you to know, T-Core is going to feel really betrayed if you put me and Rubina up on the block. And I think that, kind of freaked Quinn out a little bit, but not enough for him to like change things up here. He's still planning on sticking with those nominations. Quinn still wants to make a 7-person alliance with everyone except for his nominees. And again, I just think it's insane that he thinks that T-Core would go along with this and wouldn't spill. Like, this is immediately going to be out in the open. What is the point of a 7-person alliance when there's 10 people left? It's so dumb. So, yeah, it's silly. What else was I going to say? About that alliance. Oh, Chelsea was telling Quinn, like, maybe we should wait until after we see what happens with the veto, and then we can lock this alliance in. And I would have to agree. Maybe just wait a minute, see how it all goes, who wins, if you need to make a replacement nominee, because, like, let's chill for a sec. Let's chill them. But T-Core is pissed at Quinn. She keeps getting more and more upset about it because Quinn is turning on their Visionaries alliance. She does not want to tell him off, though, because she is worried if she does and the veto is used, she will go up as the replacement nominee. So she's trying to keep it under wraps for now, but she is not happy with Quinn. Uh-oh. So, yeah, if you want to check back later, I will post the official nominees. It should be Kimo, Rubina, and Angela, but let's wait and see what officially happens. But I want to thank you all so much for being here. Tomorrow should be interesting with the veto competition. And I want to thank our super chatter today. So Sean Davis, thank you so much. Sean says, now Quinn is going to have more cringe DRs now that he's HOH. I know. There's going to be so much yelling. We all need some of Tucker's earplugs just to get through this Quinn HOH. Sean says, Quinn and Joseph are delusional that they will be top 3 for AFP. I know. Joseph was like, yeah, I think top 3 is going to be me, Quinn, and Tucker. I don't think so. Maybe Tucker. I don't know about you and Quinn. But he says Quinn must have forgot that he was nominated by America Week 3. Yeah, they seem to think that they're just like running this whole show, but it's just not the case. Like, I think there's going to be some other people in the running for that prize, but we'll see what happens in the next 6 weeks. So, again, I want to thank you all so much for being here and for watching. It got really hot in here. Oh my God, I need to go. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great Friday night. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, much love. Bye. Bye, everybody.